Hey, and welcome to the Mountain Cat Guitars podcast, where we discuss all things guitar related. My name is Doug Meyer, owner of Mountain Cat Guitars, and I've been buying and selling guitars professionally for over 25 years. From boutique guitar and amp builders, vintage guitar dealers and experts, guitar repairmen and luthiers, retailers, manufacturers, and of course guitar players, we talk to the people who buy, sell, play, and of course obsess over the things we love most, guitars. Hi everybody, this is Doug from Mountain Cat Guitars, and I am here at the Guitar Shop NYC in Sunset Park, Brooklyn, and we're very excited to be here shooting the second episode of the second season of the Mountain Cat Guitars podcast. And we have a stellar cast who I'm going to introduce you to in a moment, but we would just like to thank our sponsors, Labella Strings, the finest handmade strings in the world, and Bob's Used Helicopters. Why buy a new helicopter? His still fly. And we'd also like... Bob's a great guy. We've known him for a long time. I've known him since I was a kid, actually. I worked there for a little while. Cool guy.
Real patron of the show.
Yeah, he's just a fabulous guy. And let me introduce you to him. And we'd also like to give a shout out to Andrew Follett, who writes me awesome emails, who is a fan of the podcast. He's an awesome dude, and I love his emails. And we wanted to give him a big shout out because he's an awesome dude. And Andrew, if you're ever in New York, stop by and we'll take you to dinner. And
we hope the Viagra works for him now.
Yes. Yeah. Fingers crossed on the Viagra, Andrew.
Come on, dudes. We don't have that many fans. We can't afford to lose one now.
We are all fired.
We might be the only one.
We are all fired.
We're out of fucking business. Anyway, we would like to introduce you to everybody. We are very psyched to have Adam Grimm, all the way from San Diego, California, who builds satellite amps and satellite guitars now. This is, of course, Josh from Protocaster Guitars from in Brooklyn, New York, who does all kinds of stuff. You probably know him already. This is James Carbonetti. This is his place, and he builds guitars, of course, Carbonetti Guitars, and does all kinds of stuff, and plays in the band Caveman, and does all kinds of cool shit. Yeah. And this is Chris Kush, or as we call him, Mojo, who's the owner of Mojo Guitars in New York. He's done all kinds of shit, and plays guitar in all kinds of bands, like Headless Horseman, and all kinds of cool shit. He's been around New York forever, knows more about guitars than anybody. And welcome to the podcast, everybody.
Yeah. Hello, Doug.
Hello, Doug.
So let's start with Adam, because he came the furthest. And Adam's been on the podcast already, so you don't really have to start with all the information on how we learned how to build an amp, because we already know that, supposedly, unless you didn't watch that one, and then you should go fucking watch it. So wasting our time.
Jesus.
Yes, people, so annoying. So, how are you, Al?
I'm good.
And you're in New York with your family for the holidays. It is Christmas time here in New York. It's right after Christmas, in between New Year's, that little period. So
isn't it technically still Hanukkah?
Yeah, I should
one more day. I think it's one more night of Hanukkah.
Yeah, I should know. I'm Jewish, but
I did the DNA. I've got like 0.4%.
That's right. We found this out. I just did my ancestry.
Oh man! Yeah.
So we're related.
We could be.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And you have some new stuff to tell us about.
We have all kinds of new stuff that's always going. One of the big things last year was we did the Scamp, which was our amplifier in a metal cage, which there's one actually here on the show.
Right, we'll be cutting away to that right now as the thing happens.
We're putting all the other models, because it was so successful, in that same cage.
Right, I just saw a Neutron
because it knocks $500 off the cost of doing the amplifiers.
Oh shit!
So all the prices
still literally $500 less.
$500 less.
Makes the amps faster too.
Yeah, the CUDA's out, the Neutron's out, the Elmer's out, the Adam is going to be out. I got to finish technically the prototype works. I haven't put the cage actually on it though, but it will be.
Does it sound any different?
No, it's all the same part.
It's like one of those things where people would go like, "Oh, it sounds better with that."
Given the internet today, you know there's going to be
some guys can be going,
break.
"It sounds better."
Yeah. I'm a cage guy.
Yeah, I'm a cage guy. When I designed the Scamp, it was to try and be. It was the first time I did something that was a price point based build, trying to get it under $1,000 to try and compete with the Tiny Terror, the Hot Rod DeVille's, and all that kind of stuff.
We'll bleep it out. It's on a regular.
And it was something that I'd never really done that before. Whenever I would design an amplifier, I have an idea in my head of what I would want. I start building stuff, and the cost of the amplifier is the last thing to figure out. Right. This was something to go in advance, and it was. Right. Yeah, so I was making phone calls to people about transformers, and thankfully Mercury Magnetics came to us when we went to them and said, trying to do this for a very small amount of money. They worked with us to figure out the best way to do that so we can still use the top shelf. Their transformers, all the parts in that are all still great parts. But when I realized how much money shaving that cabinet off,
yeah, it's amazing.
there's no labor in paying my cabinet guy. There's no wood to buy. There's no glue. There's no paint. There's no Tolex. There's no storage. There's no dealing with any of it.
Right.
It's a metal cage and it's 4 screws. It's just, but you only get one color. So, and,
Right.
you know, we could include a can of spray
It's like
paint.
Swedish fish.
Send it here, I'll sparkle it.
Yeah, yeah. You know, get it all boogie vanned out to whatever you want. But when we realized that,
California.
No, I know exactly what you mean. Yeah.
we like boogie vans. They're good. It's, you know, you
have those in New York.
Half moon window in the back. Yeah.
right, yeah.
Yeah.
But so doing that has been that's the big thing that's been for this last year coming up. And getting the last model out. But when we did the Neutron, Dennis Casey from Flogging Molly asked about it because he wanted to have an amp that he could take in a suitcase because it fits in a Pelican's 1780 case. I don't know what the number is. There's a Pelican case that the amp fits in that will fit underneath the seat on an airplane.
That's pretty smart.
So you can carry them on an airplane. It's underneath the weight limit.
Very nice.
So you can carry it on
Wow.
an airplane anywhere.
Yeah, then a gig bag and you're doing your gig.
All the amps are the same size. They'll all fit in that same Pelican case, so you can take any of them on an airplane with you.
That's
crazy.
cool.
That's
And
clever.
Think twice about it. Yeah. And it's we're going to basically have the entire lineup of all the popular models will be on that same chassis.
Well, so they'll just have 2 options. You can have a cabinet.
It's already on the website. You can go and you pick metal enclosure on it, and then it just gives you that option.
That's
And same size chassis for the whole thing.
Everything's the same.
That's
size. All of them are on identical size chassis, identical size cages. There's no difference on that. They all fit exactly the same way, same bottom plates. The internals of the actual amplifier are identical to the actual amplifiers that we started beforehand.
I gotcha. So it's just a matter of like how full up that chassis would be.
Yeah.
Like for some, they're just going to be fewer parts because.
People that work on my amplifiers, when they open them up and flip them over, realize there's a lot of extra real estate in there that's unused.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah.
So I mean, I could make them even smaller than they are, but eventually you get to this point where you have this shape that's just unwieldy, and
Sure.
musicians are creatures of habit.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
like things that are the same.
Yeah,
thing.
you don't want a pocket-sized amp.
It's why Fender still makes Telecasters and Gibson still makes Les Pauls.
Yeah, there you go.
And nobody wants whatever the new thing is.
The
that
market
they're
is
making.
conservative.
Every year they put out something new, and everybody goes, "Yeah, I don't like that."
Can you make it look like a Telecast?
And
It's true.
I don't even remember what they called the new series that Fender put out. It doesn't matter how good
Yeah.
they are.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
I just got the blowout special in my email. Like they're blowing them out.
That thing.
Yeah.
Because
The victory guitar.
It's like the same week.
it was the Firebird X one year for Gibson.
yeah.
That was
Yeah, well, that was
horrible.
a sad moment.
I actually want one of
I
those.
felt bad for
like
that
really
guitar.
badly.
There's that Firebird XD too, remember that?
Yeah.
I have one of the stock.
$5,000.
The reverse
Star
flying
They were
Trek.
$5,000.
I feel bad for it when I
like-
see reverse flying V. I'm like, oh, it sucks.
That's just funny.
I have one in my
It's
shop.
not funny.
The funny thing is they sound good.
It's the same thing.
It's fine. They're pickups with strings on them. They all sound good. Everything sounds
The
good.
reverse flying V is like,
We had one at the shop. It was horrible. We just want to throw it off the
I
back.
sold
the
one
reverse?
Yeah, it was-
recently.
Oh.
I have another one now. I actually sold one.
You've got 2 of them?
Not at the same time. I've had 2
So
of them.
you're the guy.
I sold one. I think it was Mitch Colby's or something. And then
That's the next guitar you're getting. I'm
know.
making you one of those.
Connor was playing it the other day. If I ever have a gig I don't want to do well at, I'll bring the reverse flying V. Because it's not a bad guitar. It just you feel bad for you. Like it would have been a great guitar if they just put the neck where it was supposed to be.
Right.
It's like if they put your head.
Yeah.
You feel bad for that guy. He
Yeah.
might be cool,
Right.
but you don't want to go out to dinner with him. You don't want your friends to see you hanging out with him.
Yeah. Don't get caught at a gig with that.
Yeah, it's a little fucking windy.
What?
Anyway, we digress.
Oh boy.
How do we get on the reverse flying V?
God.
That's fun.
So, and
because musicians are stuck in the same whatever. That's how we got down that.
that's how we got to the reverse.
That's why we still make heads that fit properly and look proportional to the cabinets.
Right.
That,
Yeah, because it looks weird if it doesn't.
Yeah.
right.
But it's like a G&L guitar. It's like everyone.
I think those are like cries for help. Like if a
I
friend
know,
of mine
you-
says, "Hey, I got a G&L," I'm always like, "Oh, it's okay. It's gonna be okay."
We're gonna get through
But they're
this.
great
Yeah,
guitars.
so really, no, they're not great guitars. They're not great guitars. They're not. They're really not great guitars. And I love what's his name,
Leo Fender.
Dave. Who they're
Van
rep. Dave Van Epp. I love Dave Van Epp. But like every time I see him, he goes, "Hey, Gino," I just want to hug him. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Let's just go see a Telecaster. Oh, we have a Telecaster. It says Fender right on it. And you can get one that's made in Mexico by Mexicans. They've always been made by Mexicans. It's fine.
Yeah.
You can get that.
Yep.
And he's like, no, G&Ls are really good. And it's like, okay.
Come here.
Okay.
Yeah, come here.
So it's like heritage.
Bring it in, buddy.
Heritage guitars are
Heritage guitars, I understand, because those are the guys who built them in the first
That's
place.
true.
And when
Yeah.
when Gibson left, they were like, you know what?
Well, isn't
Fuck you.
G&L
We're
a Fender at
staying.
some point?
We're staying. Squatters' rights. We're staying.
175.
Nice.
G&Ls were.
Well, they make their necks weird with the sandwiching and the centers.
Yeah,
sandwich?
so actually,
I don't think
yeah,
I've seen that.
They
Yeah,
put
no,
the two
that's-
pieces of
no,
maple together to put the truss rod in.
Yeah.
Instead of like a skunk stripe, it's actually two pieces.
Oh, weird.
It's very ridiculous.
And the people who play. Okay, I'm stopping.
Right. Did you have a bad experience with G&L? Like it,
No, I. You know what? They
Show
just
us on the
made.
G&L where it touched.
They
just
just
make you
made.
happy.
They just found like one of Leo's prototypes of
The telly
the
thing.
telly thing, and they reverse engineered it. Now they're coming out, and I actually even kind of want one.
Right.
But that's like that's like admitting like I'm curious about so it's like no, I'm not going to go. I'm curious, but I'm not going there.
I'm curious. Maybe you'll play it if it shows up, but you're not going to be wanting to wait.
I'll look at it. I don't know if I'll play it. I'll look at it from across
You'll play
the
it for
room. When are you going to make the Elwood
I know you
Francis?
get
Is
it
what
for
I'm wondering.
Whenever Elwood wants me to.
I'm telling you, 5 watts, 1 knob.
now you gotta let the folks know.
Elwood's got one of our.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You gotta talk to those people.
Yeah, we need some more
private
detail.
conversation.
Elwood says that his satellite is the only thing that he can even just look at, and he's 15 years old again and remembers why he loves everything about music.
That's awesome.
But no one else can have one?
Here's an amp.
It's an
Oh.
amp.
It's
He has to make the Elwood Francis model.
In a really long roundabout way, there was a couple of estate sales that we did, and we got some great things out of. And it was at this church. And we went back afterwards, and they had a bunch of old signs from the church that we pulled out, and we actually bought them all. Elwood has one of the amps that we made out of that old church sign wood.
That's
But it's a regular Adam, but it's the best looking box I think I've ever done.
Remember I had the
It's
Barnwood Barracuda.
You had a Barnwood Barracuda, yeah. This
And
was
it was
similar to
dope.
that, but this was like the last Church of Christ across the top of it. And I mean, and it was from the 50s. I mean, it was very weathered and worn.
That's cool.
And for people who don't know who Elwood is, he's one of the greatest human beings in the entire world.
Unbelievable.
He's Billy Gibbons Tech and has been forever.
And Joe Perry's tech before that.
Joe Perry's Tech before that.
And Guns N' Roses in the heyday.
Right. And he is absolutely phenomenal. And he makes his own guitars sometimes. the
Yeah,
fucking
yeah, those are
guitars.
cool.
Skateboards.
Yeah, fucked.
Okay.
Big deal skateboarder, yeah.
Wait, is that the?
That's the name of them, yes. It was fucked.
F-U-C-T.
But they're cool.
FCT, fucked. Sharp T. Yeah.
Was it like running them over with cars and
Yeah.
Sure, lighting them
Bulldozers,
on
whatever,
fire.
whatever you happen to have.
Done
on
now.
And they're all phenomenal. I mean, it really. He's one of those guys that goes to show you that it doesn't have to be exactly the special maple, the special
Right.
whatever. It can be, but you can also do them and make them completely fucked up and still make a great sounding guitar.
Yeah.
Well, Dan Armstrong is plexiglass.
Yeah.
They sound really good.
Those are fun.
Right.
I love Dan Armstrong. But they sound
Remember
good.
I had that one? That 69
Oh yeah,
one?
you had one.
I toured with
I
one.
still
It
have
was
one.
great.
Is that the one with the sliding pickup?
Yeah.
No,
It comes out.
But it comes out.
Okay.
Remember
Oh,
I
it's
had
I have
the
a
the
sliding pickup one
The
recently.
sliding
They're
pickup
wood
ones,
body.
those are difficult because of the way they anchored the bridge.
Yeah.
Is about as stable as John Hinckley Jr. So
Wow, you're on fire today.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Holy cow.
Wow.
Correct.
It was like Mojo plus one.
so they cut the
house.
bridges pull out.
I had one of those recently. One of the ones where both pickups move.
Yeah, you can move.
Yeah, it's only like 5 or 10 of them ever made. It was
You can
kind of
put it
great.
together.
Yeah. Okay. So these are the interchangeable.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
The regular Dan Armstrong,
pre-third
pop
church
in
one.
and
That's
Remember I had the
but
rock
they don't
treble.
slide.
Had the,
Right.
right. And
That
there's
was
the
on my
country
business
blues.
card. Sorry, subject.
The
Rock
original
treble
Dan
guitar
Armstrong
for
come out,
subjects.
Yeah.
go back in, but
Okay.
they don't slide.
Right.
Right,
And then there's
They
one that
made a handful of them that
slides.
slide.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah, it's
change
called the
where-
London.
Yes.
They were made overseas, actually.
Yeah, it was one of those great ideas that somebody had probably when
was
they
a
were
great-
stoned.
Right.
It's a horrible idea because
Moving parts.
when you make a guitar where the pickups are, it has to do with the nodes on the harmonics of the
Right.
strings where it's going to hit whether they sound good or not. There's only 2 or 3 spots that are on there. Giving people 85 different spots means they're getting 82 spots that all sound like shit and 3 that sound good.
But now you're thinking
The
that
chance
people
of-
care about how they sound.
See that?
You're
This
right.
man's got it.
Yes, you're right.
What was Bonnie Raitt's great comment was I'm not Rycooter, but I don't buy them by the color. And then Rycooter heard that and went, I actually do buy them by the color.
You're like, what's wrong with that?
Oh, that's funny.
But I thought it's cool. Doesn't the Gibson Grabber Ripper, one of those?
Yeah, the
Oh,
bass.
right, yeah,
But
yeah.
that only
That's a
moves
sliding
like an
thing.
inch each
It
direction.
still moves. It's like,
It
oh,
still
I need more
just
treble.
moves.
Like, give me
Rick
treble now.
Turner's, they rotate.
Do they really?
Oh, right.
Rick Turner, he's
He's
special.
the man.
Yeah, he's,
Goya made one that rotated in the 60s.
yeah.
Yeah.
Same thing. That
That's
Rick
cool.
Turner did exactly
The pickup itself
Yeah.
rotates?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, you
Rick
can
and that
still- yeah.
Rosette.
Yeah.
Oh, so you can
Thing.
do that?
Yeah.
But Rick is a very, he's
It
a
also sounds
special
like shit.
animal.
Yeah. Well,
Really?
I
The
have
Goya, the Goya one does not
a
have a great
champ.
sounding guitar.
Right, well, he
Rick Turner-
built that guitar for Jerry Garcia.
Yeah.
The peanut guitar.
The Peanut, he took a Les Paul custom neck and
Put it on some body.
found a
right?
piece of wood that was too small for a guitar body. He went,
Perfect.
shaped like a peanut.
Did he work at Alembic? Was that?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did
Big
a lot
time.
of cool stuff.
That's
He's
cool.
the one who told me that when they would finish a pickup, he'd throw a pot seed in the epoxy
And it would
for
do.
each pickup, just because
Just 'cause he could.
it's San Francisco.
Why not?
So that's how you can tell if they're right or real, or if you X-ray it and see there's a
Right.
pot seed
Oh, there it
floating
is.
Right.
in the epoxy
If
somewhere.
a
Or if you
dog
make
at
fake
the
ones.
TSA is like stopping you.
Like, this is really an Olympic.
Wow, this is great.
That would be amazing.
God, that's a good concept.
It is.
Should put like a little bit of dirt in there and a
Don't waste
pot seed
the
and see if it
weed.
grows. Only in certain states, though.
Exactly.
It's illegal, and that's not good. We don't condone that kind of shit.
Oh man.
This is a family show.
Yeah, man.
This is a wholesome show.
Yeah, we don't curse.
It's legal in California, so they're popping up everywhere. It's just
Yeah.
like you walk down the street, it's just like grocery stores filled with pot. It's kind of
Yeah.
weird.
I had dreams like that when I was young. Or last night.
One day, I could buy my milk and weed at the same store.
I had dreams like that. Now it's reality. You know, like, it's fabulous. All right, so, and what else is new, Adam? Pedals? Pedal stuff?
Pedals.
Pedals, we did there's a pedal over there. So one of the things that we did, there's a laser engraver that we got in the shop. It's actually what we use to make the headstock logos off the Coronets.
Oh, we have to talk about coordinates.
We'll get to Coronets too. We'll talk about everything. There's no tape. It doesn't run out. We can talk forever.
That's right.
So this pedal, I made 7 of these. Each one is different. We gave them away to different people that I like that were friends of mine for them to give away however they want to. So Doug gets to come out with, you can send Doug the most amount of pot. Whoever sends him the most gets the pedal.
Give me that.
or whatever else it is that don't do anything that's
Is that the
illegal.
Doug?
They made one for Mike Squires.
Yeah.
Oh wow! Holy
Yeah,
cow!
Mike Squires, yeah, he was going
I
to
saw
come
a
down.
Night
He's
Bob.
getting ready for baby stuff.
Oh, you wanted to give a shout out to Nightbob too, because he could not be here today. We'll
Yeah, Night Bob.
Night
Night
Bob. I
Bob.
saw a
still
Night Bob.
away on vacation. But,
pedal.
Yeah, there's a
we
Night
love
Bob.
We
I
want
made
to
one
meet
just
you
for
today.
Night Bob, just because he's Night Bob.
He's Night Bob. I'll be Night Bob.
There's a handful of extra ones that were not given away to stores to give away, but this one there's one of the Black 35 Guitars got one, the Tone Mob got one,
Oh, I saw
Worship
that.
Visions got one, Cardinal Instruments got one. Blanking out on who else got the other ones, but yes, there's 7 of them total that are giveaways. So,
Cool.
and everybody gets to figure out how they want to give them away, do whatever they want. It was
Keep that.
we had made
Can
a
you give it
pedal.
to yourself?
Yeah, give it to yourself.
Yeah, and you could.
And done.
Right.
If you want to have a competition
Last
with
day of
yourself to
Hanukkah.
win,
Wait,
Last day of Hanukkah. That's right.
I feel good about my
Fucking
odds.
Hanukkah present.
a while about 2 years ago, we did a pedal called the Sully, which was had part of the Ed Sullivan Show board, the EQ out of the board.
I remember that.
So we took some of the transistors out. We made 50 pedals. When I did it, I made a bunch of extra boards. So we had blank boards. So it's that same circuit, same kind of boost circuit out of that, with the bias preset in it with an output on it. With just each transistor is different in each one. I think that one's a BC108, which is the transistor they use in the early fuzz phases. So,
Cool.
it
sounds like fuzz.
it's a dirty boost. It's fun and it's free, so no one can complain.
Oh, but they will.
Oh, they will. They always do.
Because no good deed goes unpunished.
I've had more than one people complain about stuff I gave them for free.
I had someone once return an amp I
Something
gave them
for
for
free.
free, and they wanted me
No,
to
thanks.
buy it back from them because it stopped working 2 years after
Tell you
I
what,
gave it to them.
I'll give you the same price that that you paid me for.
Double.
So I
Double
play,
it.
I play 2mm picks for a reason. In 2007, when we did NAMM, we had some picks made, and I liked thick picks, but I got the extra thicks just because it was really
Those
funny.
are great. I love those picks.
We covered the table in them, and people would walk up, take one off the table, take 3 steps, and then throw it back at us. And so from then on, that's the only pick I play.
That's
Want a pick?
awesome.
Sure. Here you go.
Yeah.
You got anything else? No. That's it. That's what you get.
Yeah.
It's
Rather
like
than
getting stolen.
It's a free pick. You don't like it? Yeah, whatever.
I have a bunch of those in my shop. I
Yeah,
like
so I absolutely love them. But yeah, there's always somebody who's going to complain
The
about it.
Mosrite picks were those super thin, so thin they were like paper.
Yeah, it was just flat.
And I have just a box of them, which I will never give away. 'cause
No.
I love Semi so much. He's such a good guy.
Oh, he was a nut job. He was so good though.
But he was mine.
He was
Yeah, actually,
it's April
when he came to
15th,
New
tax
York for
time's
the
coming
first
up.
time, the first place he came was to me, and he had lost his credit card, which they had just got their limit up to $300 on. And him and his bride were just sobbing.
Right.
Like they were so upset, and we took care of him, and he
Very
had
nice.
a great stay in New York.
very nice. Yeah, he used to light he had a shed in the backyard that he would light on fire the weekend before tax day.
But he had big deal tax problems.
Yeah, well, it's because he kept lighting all this stuff on
Yeah,
fire.
here we go. The documents.
I don't know what happened.
tax
The shed
time.
caught fire
Yeah.
again. I built a new one and it just burned up too.
No traces.
This is crazy. What a coincidence. Wow. See, I could have never thought of
The
that.
odds.
Yeah. It'd be so much easier than doing your taxes.
Right?
Just light them on fire.
It's just another way of doing your taxes.
Right.
Yeah.
We're no different from the guys that were doing this in the
them.
50s. They were doing the same thing we were.
Right.
You know, they just burned more stuff than we did.
Yeah,
There's no
You
cameras.
know, it's,
Right.
That's right.
Yeah, certain things suck because now there's a record of shit.
Everything.
You know, like back then, like Leo Fender, you think he kept track of any of that shit?
absolutely
yeah.
not.
I think he did.
I don't think he did at all. I think,
Oh, actually,
he hired
no, he
somebody.
hired someone.
He
He
hired
didn't
somebody
give a
else.
shit about anything other than what his.
yeah,
Right.
He didn't care.
He probably lit the shed on fire.
And-
The Gene Angelico was drinking a gallon of red wine every morning, so I don't think.
Is that right?
Yeah, he would come to work every
Yeah.
day with
That's when you know when
a
to leave.
homemade gallon of wine
And made those guitars drunk?
and drank it all
What do you
day.
think we're doing here all day?
I know that we do it. I didn't know those guys did that.
Look at that thing.
Oh, I get it now.
Yeah.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we're all at fault.
It's coming together. It's coming together
The
now.
lacquer.
you need to start making
Yeah, with
wine
those
in the
cats.
backyard.
Yeah, lacquer wine.
Yeah, you need to make wine for yourself in the backyard.
Oh, yeah.
And-
Yeah, those cats made
Yeah,
wine.
he made
Yeah,
himself.
he made wine in his apartment.
He made his own wine
Yeah.
brought it to work?
Yeah.
Yeah, they would bring it to work with him. He lived above the shop, and he would come down with a gallon every day.
I think wine might be a bit nice.
Yeah,
Right.
fermented lacquer thinner.
Something alcoholic.
Fermented
yeah.
crap.
Right. Fermented crap.
Yeah, toilet wine. That's
Get up and have some
That's fine.
fermented crap. It's like prison wine.
Yeah.
But if you go back and
Not
look
that I would know about that.
In prison, they just call it wine.
They just call it drink this
Wine.
That would kill you.
if you think about it, Les Paul and Leo Fender and Paul Bigsby used to hang out together and would, have conversations, and they would just be drunk and hanging out and doing
But
whatever this
everyone was
was.
just hammered all the time. We watch any Humphrey Bogart movie. Like someone walks in, the first thing, what are you drinking? Rye. You know, it's like every time.
And a glass.
Yeah, it wasn't like a
Right,
shot.
it wasn't one shot, it was
They just
a
handed the
tumbler.
bottle. Yeah. Oh, awesome.
I'll have
It's like 11 in the morning.
Pint of rye, please.
Yeah, the 3 martini lunch, and then go back to work, and then hit on all the women. Where do you keep your women? I'm hammered.
But this is why there's a lot of one-offs and stuff that popped up for friends and family that nobody.
Oh, yeah.
they didn't bother keeping
Right, because when they're
track of.
drunk, they promised they would make it, and then when they sobered up, they're like, I took over for what?
God. What have I agreed
Oh,
to?
fuck.
Did you ever see the Paul Bigsby peanut guitar that showed up at Les Paul's neighbor's house at a tag sale for $35,
Oh, no.
and it was missing the pickup because he had put the pickup in neck position of the log.
How about that one PA Bigsby lap steel
Yeah.
that our buddy got? That love that guy also.
Played that thing. That was awesome.
It's really cool, but they sold it as a Rickenbacker,
Yeah.
like
They didn't know.
idiots.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was the prototype Paul Bigsby.
But yeah, that's what those guys did. They sat around and
Got fucked up and
But
did cool shit.
It's no different than what we're doing, except those companies exist.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean,
pioneers.
Well, it's the same kind of guys. It's like the same kind of people are drawn to this that were drawn to that. You know, it's like the same people who are interested in making shit. You guys make shit.
Yeah,
You know?
pirates of one age are the same as
Yeah.
pirates of another age.
Yeah. I mean, just we have the internet.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, that's really the big difference. You
Yeah.
know, we have like, you know,
I
some-
have not documented everything that I've built. There's stuff out there that I don't remember, I'm sure, that,
Right.
that people...
you're just like, oh, I remember
Same.
that.
And I've had at least 2 people fake my stuff and transell.
Oh, wow.
Really?
No. Oh, wow.
There's a Jet City amp that someone put a satellite
fun.
logo on and sold to Guitar Center. And it's been sold to to Guitar Center multiple times because they call me about it every time and ask me what model it is.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
You gotta tell me, well, that's a rare one.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, ooh.
That's
Like one of
pricey.
those.
I made that for Orson Welles.
Yeah.
We had just done this Nick Perry pedal in purple, and somebody faked one of those and sold it on Reverb.
Already? Those are
shit.
brand new.
Somebody had painted one of our other pedals purple and sold it as a Nick Perry
Are
prototype.
you serious?
And somebody bought it, yeah.
No shit.
Yeah. And because we got a phone call from the guy, he's like, I got one of the pedals early. This is great. It's awesome. I don't know how this guy got it early. Like, haven't shipped it in
didn't.
yet. And I'll sit right in front of me. We didn't
That's
send
awesome.
anything out. This is,
Whoa.
sorry. Nope.
Wow.
Good luck.
You've been Weird Al Yankovic.
Yeah. And that's just the ones I know of. I don't know if it's happened any other times.
Man.
So weird people even come up with these ideas
Kinda love
to
that,
do
though.
that.
I gotta say,
I'm honored.
yeah.
It's honorable to be like, wow.
It is, yeah, you
someone
made
faked
it.
my stuff. This is
You
pretty
made
good.
it. You made it, Adam.
Where
That was
did they get
amazing.
the decal and all that stuff? That's funny. Interesting.
Somebody went to a lot of trouble to do it for not a lot of money.
Yeah.
I think he sold it for like $400.
God bless him.
It's still $400.
It's still a $300 pedal though.
Right.
At the end of the day, you had to buy one.
Yeah, he bought a pedal
That's what I
somehow.
mean.
Maybe he got it used. I don't know, or stole it. He could have stolen it from somewhere. I don't know.
He's just a crook the
Yeah,
whole way
yeah, he
through.
could have been a crook the whole
he
way
stole
through.
it, painted it.
Stole the paint,
Really nice
purple
job
paint from-
putting
yeah.
a logo.
Stole the paint.
Yeah,
And then put it on reverb so they know exactly who he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, he put your
He's not
address.
the best criminal ever, right? Because you can't go on reverb and
Signed into your account to sell it.
right.
so.
That's fun.
I guess you probably could. You could set up a thing, but they want a credit card.
there's ways around it.
I'm sure.
There's a way around anything. You can go buy a prepaid credit card at the grocery store for put $20 on it, and you have a credit card.
There you go.
people
you
people
buy a
learn
satellite
when they
pedal,
watch this
then
show.
you buy the paint.
Right.
They
Yeah,
learn
they
a
learn
lot.
all kinds of crime.
How to
Yeah,
fake
exactly.
products.
Yes.
How to buy fake shit by these people.
Tune in next week. Tune in next week on tips for how to rob a bank.
We'll teach you how to make crystal meth. Take apart your refrigerator.
Yeah, if somebody wanted to make stuff that I didn't make anymore, I'd be pretty honored if they were making it. That'd be pretty good.
Right. Well, I'm
Sure,
sure
guys can build those train wrecks, you know, and they give them names and they,
Right, Matilda or whatever.
yeah,
That's,
they go, you know, it's an, you know, they cared about that stuff and
Oh, yeah.
Ken's legacy.
yeah. I mean, Ken was, I never met the man, but he was phenomenal, and he handmade every amplifier.
Yeah.
They were cool. I played 2 of them.
Yeah.
A friend of mine
I've
had
played
a
couple
mess of
them,
them and was selling 2 of them.
He was a super
and he brought
nice
them to
guy.
my shop in the city and said, you know, you should really hear these before I get rid of them. They're like a thing. You should really check them out.
Yeah, I remember those.
Yeah. And they were really nice sounding amps.
Yeah. But you could open up all of them, and not none of them are the same.
No.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So it's just
Those were really handmade amps, like Cobras.
He
you know,
he
like
had a
every-
rough idea of each one, but he would go and handpick all the parts in it, and
Like, this would
he
be
didn't
cool.
always have the same brand parts, the same.
that's
exact-
funny.
They were very
that works.
hi-fi sounding.
That's,
They were-
that's fine.
They were very. They had
No,
a thing.
he would
They had a
organize it.
very specific
Yeah, they had
thing.
this
He would
thing.
Yeah.
be very
Oh, yeah.
agonizing over each part to make sure it was the perfect part in that.
I see.
that
It's
spot.
funny because he was like metal guy when metal was like
Oh, is that right?
waning, yeah, and it was like all grunge and stuff, and he was sticking true to his cause. He did not give a fuck what the general. He was not building this for you or
Yep.
you.
No.
He was building it for him.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
if you liked it, that's awesome, and you
Yeah.
could buy it. And you could visit him in his mom's
Were they
basement.
expensive then? When
They
he was
weren't
selling
cheap.
them.
He's
I
yeah,
think they were like $1,500 to $1,800.
yeah, they were not cheap.
Right. You know, back then that was expensive.
Yeah, yeah.
But he was not asking permission for anything he was doing. And if you were like, "Hey, I want to get that butt," he would just go, "Whoa!" Yeah.
Where
My
was
mom just made me dinner.
Where was it?
Jersey.
Jersey.
Yeah, he was random. Just my friend was new here.
So I remember
That's how we had all
there
these
was a
amps.
couple in 30th. There
Yeah, that was-
Danny had one, right?
I don't remember when there was
sure-
a fellow
I'm
who would
sure
bring
Danny
them
had a
into
real
30
one.
Street. I forget his
Buzzy's
name
had a
now.
couple.
Yeah.
And he had a bunch of them. He was selling 2 of them, and he brought them in. He came and said, "Oh, come in tomorrow morning. You should really hear these. I'm going to sell them."
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, "Great," you know. And they were really great sounding. You're like, all right, these are really hip. I don't know what they sell
I
for
like
now.
the
They
amps.
sell for like, you know,
A lot.
35.
not quite double money, but right.
Is that
Yeah,
right?
but I think Buzzy
Oh,
turned down
35,
100 grand
50
for a dumble and a
dumble.
train
For
wreck.
We told that story. Buzzy's awesome.
Yeah, I had
we were
no
just
idea
at
that they were-
Buzzy's yesterday.
Yeah.
2 days ago.
Man,
When I
I was there
died,
twice this week.
at 2 zeros.
It's Large Street Music and Tea Night for all of you.
Maybe 3.
great place.
Fuck it.
Go ahead.
Love that place.
Yeah.
That's the last of the great little guitar shops like that.
Boy, that's
There's
a
great guitar
killer
shops out
story.
there, but there's nothing like that. That looks
What?
like Chelsea, like Large
Oh.
Street and Teaneck.
Yeah.
Like it, you know, he still hangs like the guitars from like wire from like.
Like that's
Right.
the nail.
He
Picture
gets a
hanger.
burst, a real burst,
Yeah.
and he wraps a piece of wire around
Yeah.
the tuning pegs and hangs it on a nail.
That's what
Yeah.
we did at Chelsea
Like a
way back then. I was
finishing
like,
nail
you know,
just
they
tacked
make
in.
these things called string swings now, and Les was like, what?
yeah.
I'm a nail. And then once I was at Large Street one day, we're just sitting there, all of a sudden the guitar just fell off. Oh! Someone had put it back up wrong. You know, like, 'cause taking guitars down in a guitar shop's never the problem. It's putting them back up that's the problem. Like in 30th Street, there was like a million fucking things, and you'd be sitting there once in a while. That's why I always be like,
And the guy would always be
don't let
way
people-
too far.
Or they
Like,
would just wouldn't put it back in quite right.
Yeah.
You know, so it's in, but it's not really in.
And then just turns.
Yeah, the fan comes by and blows. You know, like, but you'd be sitting there, all of a sudden, the guitar just fall off the third. You know, they were high up there, bright.
Oh,
You know, but like that's why I used to just go like, don't let people take the guitars down themselves. It's not that it's hard,
No.
but they can't put them back up themselves.
oh, it's
Yeah.
a total liability.
Yeah, you know, so like there was a trick because some of those hooks you knew were I just knew them by feel.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
it's in there. But like if you didn't do that, like
Yeah, that's all
they weren't all the
really
same.
curly, that
Like,
one.
yeah, you couldn't replace them every week.
Yeah,
you know, like
yeah.
there were hundreds of them, but some of them were not quite grabby as and some headstocks are really different.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
some of those headstocks you want to put on the top rack. They were
Yeah.
different, but people don't realize they took the guitar from the bottom rack and they put it back on the top rack because there's a fucking thing of it. And the
Yeah.
guitar would fall out later. You know, like guitar centers don't care because they just write all that shit off. But like,
You also find people though with the string swings that don't have them close enough together, and they're just resting on the tuners.
yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's bad.
Or just not anchored in the wall.
Or that too.
Yeah, when I first put up my bunch, I didn't know. I didn't read the instructions.
Yeah, you have to screw in a
Yeah, Brian Monte came to my shop. He's like,
I
"You
need
put those in a stud, right?" I was like, "A what now?"
What's the stuff?
He's like,
I mean,
I was like, "They look cool, right?" He's like, "No."
Why is it wobbly?
Yeah, I was like, into sheetrock.
Yeah. Ooh,
It's
scary.
like you're gonna have 10 guitars, the whole wall's gonna come down. I was like, really? She was like, oh, let's go to the hardware store. Fix all this. I was like, oh, fuck.
Jesus. I love
I didn't
it.
know.
well, so cornets.
Cornets.
Yeah.
Let's talk about cornets.
So we're back on the cornet kick again.
Back on the cornet kick.
We've had this last year has been a lot of weird ups and downs and delays of products of parts and suppliers and stuff on the back end of our all across the satellite stuff. But we got all the cornet stuff figured out, so we just brought out. You just got a shipment of bodies and necks.
I
Will
just
you be
received
making
a
more?
shipment of bodies and
You
nets.
did to be finished and made pretty.
Yes, indeed.
So we've got a bunch of cornets that should be done. I don't know. Your timing is the timing is up to you, really.
yeah, exactly.
But sometime in the new year, you know, before July.
That's. I loved how tentative that was.
July. And I don't know how backed up you are with everything else, but it's you know.
Super backed up, but they'll definitely be done before July. That is for sure.
Right,
And those
but
are
there's
all
a-
contour bodies, but we're doing flat bodies.
So all right. So we shipped out a couple of single pickups and a couple of double pickup contoured bodies.
Right.
The sharp edge flat non-contoured body 58, 59 style will be coming sometime probably early February.
And the pickup is being made by.
Curtis Novak, who has finally redone from the ground up the Epiphone New Yorker style pickup. Novak's got it. It sounds phenomenal.
awesome.
And it's exactly, I mean, it's better than the originals ever were. The originals were good. This is a phenomenal pickup.
That's fun.
You know,
We just had one of those real ones in here with the
Yeah.
2 pickups. It's such a cool guitar.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And
Yeah.
those pickups are unique and you don't hear them that often.
Right.
A lot of them were underwound and they're a little on the weak side.
That's the problem.
But these aren't.
Right.
So these are
It's a
good.
lot of the gold foils. Everyone's crazy with gold foils, but real gold foils have no output.
Well, but,
Is
Yeah,
that
but
right?
no output
all right.
works
But
for.
this-
Yeah, it's a,
For a certain thing, like, you know, like.
But this gets into a whole big thing of what a gold foil actually is.
Right.
The
Right.
real gold foils are phenomenal. Most of the gold foils people think are gold foils aren't real original gold foils. They're
Yeah.
Japanese copies of gold foils.
Right.
The Diarman and the originals were phenomenal pickups. Same with the Monkeys on a Stick. You know, these guys up
Right.
here, Diarman made phenomenal stuff across the board. When Tyco started making them, they were iffy at best.
Right.
But you also get them, and a lot of people don't realize this, They were made specifically for guitars, for a specific guitar to be on. It's not a universal pickup that one on every guitar.
Right.
So you can have one. It's kind of like getting the shortest spacing PAF off of a Birdland or something. It's not going to fit a Les Paul.
Right, yeah.
It's not right. So
String spacing and magnetic.
So when you talk to some of these guys that were doing the old harmonies and stuff like that, some of those pickups sound great in that guitar,
Right.
but will sound like shit in anything else.
Right.
Just because it has gold and it's a gold foil or has a mustache or any of those other ones doesn't automatically mean it's going to sound great in any guitar.
Right. Which we've all learned.
Right. But there was a guitar that they did sound great in. But you have to know what that is.
Right.
Because that placement, this goes back to that sliding guitar scale.
Right.
If you take one of those and you actually have it on double stick tape or something, and you start moving it around, one that sounds like shit, you're going to find the node that it sounds good on, and all of a sudden you go, this sounds great. This is totally the wrong position. I don't want this pickup here because now I've got 2 holes over there.
Right.
But that's where that pickup will sound good.
Interesting.
So it's not, you can't just put it in the spot of where a Telecaster neck pickup is and go, oh, Rycuda right there, that's it.
Right.
You might get the right one for that. You might not. You might get
That's
the
what
one,
always winds up happening.
You might get
Put
the
it
one that's
into a
supposed to be in the middle,
Sounds
and
like shit.
that's the only place it's going to sound good.
Right.
Yeah. I just put them where they look cool.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I was saying. But then there's like, the Gibson guitars with the P90 in the middle.
Yeah, love those.
They
The
sound
330s.
Yeah.
Like the 330, and there's the
They're always way cheaper.
Yeah, no one wants that guitar ever. But then I had one not that long ago, and I was
They're
like,
great.
wait, this guitar sounds amazing.
Well,
Well,
they're
just
still
'cause the other option-
$3,500 guitars. They're
Now.
not cheap.
But for years, no one would buy one of those from you ever.
I never had.
Well, you
problems.
route it out and you make it a 3 pickup, and it's great.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
Then it's a phenomenal guitar.
Right. But it sounds good with the pickup in the middle.
Yeah.
But the Epiphone Coronet, when they did it, their pickup was at the end of the tenon where the neck goes in, whereas
Yeah.
the Les Pauls were all right
Right.
in the middle of the joint.
Right.
So the Coronet 2 pickup looks weird because it's in the wrong spot,
Right.
kind of. But it's not. It's in the
Right.
right spot.
It sounds amazing.
It's a node right there, and it sounds phenomenal. But it doesn't look right.
So then the sliding pickup thing, it wasn't such a bad idea.
It's not, but again, you've got only a couple spots that sound good, and
Right.
a whole lot more that don't.
Right. There's the illusion of options.
Right. If you know what
Right.
you're doing and find that spot and go, yeah, this pickup sounds great right here.
Right. And you
It's
fix
phenomenal.
it there. Like, here comes my solo.
Right.
Yeah, there we go.
Ooh, I'm going to pull
Well,
it
that's
back
like
now.
about these
Right.
pickups. And with yours and mine, it's like I moved it until it
Right.
sounded really good.
Yeah, mine was, right.
That's great. And we had them in both different positions.
Right. But they both sounded great.
Yeah.
Right, so that's the thing.
You know, one of the things about good arch tops is that every inch from the bridge to the 12th fret should sound different, like your tone knob's in
Exactly.
a different
Right.
spot.
Yep.
So your tone knob is really where your arm is, and that's why you see the guys leaning forward with the guitar barely touching up here and barely touching here, not touching the back of the body.
Yeah.
And their arm is all over their right arm isn't just sitting at the bridge.
Right.
That's how you play guitar.
Right.
Yeah, 90% of a good arch top is this hand.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
hard you're hitting it.
That's Joe Walsh.
Like that guy,
It's all in the
that guy
hand.
George at Retrofret.
He's amazing.
It's like he picks up anything, and it sounds like he's playing an arch top.
Yeah.
It's just this hand.
Right. They play different. Well, I was
Yeah.
just reading this morning, the stair step tailpiece
Yeah.
was designed by D'Angelico because of the tension on each.
Yep.
He wanted it like
Everything
that.
is form and function.
Right.
It's like-
But that one doesn't have it, obviously.
Yeah.
That one
Well,
does.
that's
Well,
a
that he
Grover.
didn't make sense.
No, that's a Grover.
That tailpiece.
He
Right.
didn't make them. Yeah. So
Right, he
that's
didn't
like
make
what
the
he
A-side.
ordered.
Right.
And then he's like, I need my own.
Right. And then some guy downtown Manhattan made those
On
tailpieces.
Crosby Street.
Right.
Right, exactly. And there were a lot of different versions of them, but they were all stair step.
Yeah.
'Cause
And
it-
as they get older, they get different gold plated.
Right,
They
and
sound
different engraving. It was hand engraved, and it was machine engraved.
Yeah.
I just read all that shit this morning, but like, being a guitar nerd that I am,
Yeah.
I was reading this morning.
It's funny because then
talk about guitars all
took
day.
it, and then he's like, "It's all wrong. I want to go back to wood because that's what Stradivarius did."
Right.
Which is a funny thing.
He's a whole nother fucking thing.
Yeah.
But we
Guitars are fun.
Yeah, they're pretty sweet. Yeah, I text that to Mojo at least twice a day.
We like guitars.
Guitars are good for music.
Yeah.
I text that to Chris Trainer a lot too.
We like
And
guitars.
pretty much everyone I know.
Yeah.
Have you ever played one of the Ken Parker arch tops?
Oh, they're
No.
crazy.
He basically
There's one
throws
at
everything
Retrofret.
out the window of what you think is right about why a guitar is built the way it is.
Yeah. That's why there's one in the Met because it's like it's
they're
perfect.
phenomenal. But it's got that ugly ass Parker fly headstock.
Right.
Yeah, it is
But-
weird looking.
But talking to him about it, he'll explain it is exactly why to
It's
get
genius.
it's less wood to get more tension pulling on that headstock to create more sustain out of the headstock.
Yeah.
Right.
That's why it is that way. It's not because he thinks it's pretty.
Right.
It's purely function.
Yeah.
Right, I can see that.
You know, and the way
met
that
him
he's
a bunch.
got, but he's also got
Chelsea.
The bolt.
Yeah, the bolt. There's just two
Right.
two bolts coming up to hold the neck on. That it's completely not embedded in the body at all.
Yeah.
All of it is just absolutely
It's like a spacecraft.
right.
It is a spacecraft,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
But he's just this insane guitar builder that builds his own tools to build his own guitars. Like he's that. Right.
Wow.
You guys are nut jobs, and I love you both. That's what it is. You have to be doing this.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, if we were smart, we'd be bankers or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we wouldn't be this.
Maybe not bankers.
Yeah, I mean,
some other thing.
just by virtue of the career we've chosen, we've definitely failed the intelligence.
Yes,
Yeah, or we're just not making fabulous choices.
I like wood.
We made some bad
that is
choices
on
along the way
display.
as we wound up here.
It is a parade of bad decisions.
Yeah. That's the new name of band. Parade of Bad Decisions. That's gonna be my solo project.
I love it.
If you take one of these D'Angelicos and you look at anything about it, you realize what a master builder he really was.
Oh, that's
He
right.
yeah.
knew everything was done for a reason.
Yeah.
Right. Well, that's why you start getting into those guitars, and you're like, whoa. And that brings us, if you want to go, so James is building this thing that I'm holding, and I'm holding it for a reason.
Yeah.
And that kind of circled around because we've all been getting into the Angelicos, and James has been going crazy for those, and there's two of them right there. That's why we keep pointing in that direction. You guys are seeing that, but there's two of them right there. And so, if we want to skip over, I was going to go in order. Kind of jump to this. I've been holding it the whole fucking time, so I might as well talk about it. So these are the Golden Road guitars we've been talking about on the last couple of podcasts, because originally it was just a big block of wood.
Yeah.
Now it's actually a guitar with strings. It just got strings about an hour ago. So it's getting pretty close. It's all there. And this has a lot of D'Angelico type influences, especially recently.
Yeah.
Because a lot of you've made guitars like this, in this shape even.
'cause
but-
I've been obsessed with D'Angelico since you and Danny told me about him at Chelsea, and then I ended up getting that double electric, that 59, luckily enough. And then this one fell in my lap with Danny because he was
Can we
like,
take that down? Can we take both those down?
yeah.
Because they're not in the thing. Right?
So this one is a 38, and you just instantly see
Yeah.
like the top carve.
Yeah, I mean, you could see this in that.
Yeah,
You know,
and
like
then
a
the
bit.
binding.
Ooh.
Like, and this is a cheaper model, the Style A, and there's still 5-6 ply binding.
Yeah, I mean, the binding on this one's just outrageous.
Yeah, that's what they thought was the cheap binding.
Right?
Right.
This is the
It's like,
beginner
let's
model.
take it easy.
See, I never knew, like when Gibson has 5-ply binding,
it's
they would
garbage,
just buy that shit, they make it? Or
Gibson probably
Bought
buys
it.
it.
Right, well now, I would imagine it didn't have a...
But back
you-
then,
Back then,
Because when
they
you
made
did
it.
this, you just put a white and then a white and
Right.
a black
yeah,
and a
you
white,
get
and so it looks cool.
acetone and
Stumac didn't
strip.
exist back then.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
Nothing
Right.
existed back then.
No, you made it.
So yeah, so
Yeah.
with this one I wanted to, recarve the top a similar way.
If you look at the carve,
Like
it's
a
starting to
big
look
dish.
like these things, and the binding is starting to look like these
Yeah,
things.
and
So,
then I
like,
also love Paul Bigsby's, so that's where I kind of got the fret markers and the skinny waist and
yeah, this is really turning into something, and this is the big debate now. I put it on the internet too, and a lot of people chimed in. These were going to be gold tops, and they were going to be Golden Road guitars, except this one's really flamey,
yeah.
super flamey top. So,
But Jimmy and I were talking
Do you-
earlier. The thing that's neat about this is that if you strip thank you. If you strip a 50s gold top, which occasionally you'll do because the thing is just dogged up and beat up in some way, and a person wants work done on it, you'll see flame that looks a lot like that.
Right.
That just is underneath
Right.
that gold paint. Not crazy over the top flame, just nice subtle.
That was just wood back then.
yeah, exactly right.
It's like that's why in the 40s everything was bird's eye maple. All the big
Right.
stuff, all the Fender prototypes, like all the stuff it was just called maple.
yeah, right. Well, that's why rosewood was just Brazilian rosewood.
Yeah,
It's like what do you call Brazilian nuts in Brazil? It was little nuts. It was just rosewood. If Brazil's just where rosewood came from.
Yeah.
So everything, there's boats that the whole hole is Brazilian rosewood. You can make 1,000 guitars out of it.
Yeah.
And
We have a hotel in San Diego called the Hotel del Coronado, and it's filled with Brazilian wood, like just beams of the stuff.
Wow.
Just
Yeah.
like
yeah, it
That
must have
is
been
a
cheap
show
back
than
then.
chisel.
oh, it's gorgeous. Yeah.
It must have been cheap back then.
No, it was
I don't think it was
supposed to be
ever
fancy
cheap,
rosewood.
but
but
fancy.
There was no other rosewood.
But it's even on cheap guitars. Like it's on
Yeah.
anything that had rosewood. There was no Indian rosewood back then. There was no cheap alternative.
Yeah.
This doesn't have
There was no
Brazilian
reason to
rosewood
use
has Right. There's no reason to even pursue it. You
Right.
Just get it from Brazil.
Sure.
So and you
There's
Yeah.
old Silvertone guitars with Brazilian rose
Yeah, they all
wood
have
on
it.
them, yeah.
That's why we used to buy melody makers and pop the boards off.
Yeah.
You know, like, poor melody makers always got fucking hammered for their parts. But so anyway, so this is this. But the big debate now, of course, is do you paint it gold, as Mojo is insisting, or do you keep it flamey like this? So there is another one of these back there, so that one could be gold. Anyway, me and Cobra are sort of going flame top. But if you guys want to chime in and let us know, because this is pretty
You also
flamey.
never see a dark burst with two P90s wrap.
Right, just
No,
a
that is
cool
rare, and that
thing.
does look awesome. We did that
More than
makeover.
rare.
on-
Never been.
Right.
Kind of a clear gold sparkly,
There's that too. Transparent gold.
transparent metal flake.
But this is a hip guitar. So this is becoming a guitar.
Yeah,
Like,
and it's loud, which is fun. It's fun.
yeah,
to hear
it
it.
just got strings an hour ago. They're loud.
Yeah, wood out of the Greenwood Cemetery.
Digging up coffins.
Yep.
Grave robber brand guitars.
So then that rosewood is rejected rosewood from the early 70s from Martin.
Right.
So they probably bought it in the 50s, yeah, at some point.
Right.
And it just wasn't straight enough or dark enough.
Yeah, it's not terribly dark for what Brazilian would be.
But you
But not all
die
Brazilians
for it now.
dark.
Also.
Exactly. That
Yeah,
is
one thinks it looks all that more
In the
Brazilian dark.
70s or back then, you're like, you had to pick a
Right. It's not all streaky. Everyone like you see a lot of streaky stuff. It's not all streaky.
Yeah.
Like
no.
You know, like, and so I remember having like a slab board Strat at Chelsea, and the board was super light.
Yeah.
Like it was like light colored. Like
So also with these fingerboards, I do them really thick too. So it's a 1/4 inch fingerboard.
Right.
Which isn't really normal.
It's thick, yeah.
Yeah.
But this guitar, for especially for just being strung up, not really even a proper
Yeah.
nut, is
No.
loud already.
Yeah. So then with the headstock, you can see that it has the Gibson tension, but not the Gibson.
Exactly. I really like that idea.
It's like a Mosrite style.
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
Like
a lot of
quite
cool
a dip,
features
even
in
though
it.
it's
Yeah.
straight.
Because it's not a Gibson, it's not any of those things, it's all of those things.
What's the scale?
It's a Gibson scale, 24 3/4.
Because people were asking for specs of it, weren't they?
They are?
I thought they were. Somebody was
People are
asking about
asking. They're
specs about that. And I didn't know what the
People
scale
gotta
of the
know.
guitar was.
Yeah. That's the funny thing with
I think-
specs, that like people know their specs.
Yeah.
I don't know my spec.
I don't know. I didn't even
No
know
idea
the
what
worst
you're talking
specs until about 10
It's
years ago.
a guitar.
But I,
People ask me what the
I didn't even know
radius
there were
of the
different
fingerboard
scales.
is.
Like,
but
Well,
I play,
that's-
I play
that's a-
Gibson guitars most of the time, so when I pick up a Strat or a Tele, it's the scale's a little bit off, so I'm a little bit, my fingers aren't where I always think they are.
Yeah.
And it's not quite as comfortable to pick up and just play right away
Sure.
without thinking about it.
Yeah, yeah.
So I have some that are great, but I'm much more used to a Gibson scale, so if
Yeah,
that's
me
what
too.
it is, and that's what I would want, that's,
Yeah.
right.
I
I guess
want
you
that
could make this
guitar.
with a Fender scale.
So now this is Gibson scale and a 12-inch radius.
Right.
Same as your Gold Top that we're
Right.
going after. But it's a little bit of a longer, it's bigger than a Les Paul.
Right, but the
Sure,
bridge is
yeah.
in the same place. Or
Yeah.
into
From the bridge to the nut
is the
it's
same
Gibson.
shit. Right.
Yeah.
But it's got a lot more mass back here.
Yeah,
the bridge to the tailpiece hook.
exactly.
Yes, yeah.
And the hook arm.
That's a that's an extra
Yeah, like, oh
cost.
wait, I need something from over there.
That's an upgrade.
That's staying, by the way.
Totally. It's so convenient.
I know. Just hang up
All
your
guitars should
guitar.
have this.
But
I think Eddie Van Halen's guitar had like that.
Like the Angelica has one.
to the spec idea, I mean, it's how many times have people told you that the neck is medium or it's give
Right.
a medium
I think it's like a
that
60.
doesn't tell you anything.
Right.
It doesn't tell you
But
shit.
now you get people like
having the
their
numbers.
exact specs. Like,
Exactly.
can you give me the specs of this guitar? I didn't even realize I shouldn't be saying this. I do this for a living, but I was measuring the shit with the strings on it, and you were like, I did that when you told me that. You're like, that can't be right. I'm like, no, I'm measuring it right now. You're like, no, I can't be right. Take a picture of what you're doing. I was like, oh, dude, you gotta take the strings off. I was like, oh, no wonder my specs come out fucked up all the time. I shouldn't be saying that. I was like, not buying a guitar from this jerk.
No, look,
But that's why I never trust myself. I have someone else fucking do it.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it because mine always. Now I know you're supposed to do that, but
Yeah.
but what a pain in the ass that is.
Yeah.
My way was so much easier.
it was a lot easier.
I just use like a key.
Yeah.
I can still play.
It's great.
I like this key better for singing.
Yeah.
But it's super complicated because say someone gives you their exact specs. Does it exactly come out the way they think it does every
It depends. I mean, I'm sure you've had it be the case that somebody wants precisely the same.
Right, they send you the
thing from neck
specs.
to
I want
neck.
this.
Yeah, but
Exactly.
why do they want that?
Well, I mean,
They don't know.
Well,
It depends. I mean, some people do. These days, I
Some
feel
people
like
do,
the-
right? And
the
some
market
people
has
don't. Some people
shifted.
read it on
They
the
don't.
internet.
Yeah,
They think
that
they
could
read
be.
it.
Right, they read it.
They think they want it.
Well, I think yes and no. So
Right.
yes for some folks, but
Right.
there's some who have
Who know, right.
correlated the
You close
experience
your
of the
eyes, you
thing
feel
in
like
their
you're like,
hand.
that's right. It might not. You don't think of numbers. I don't think
But
of numbers.
now with the
Oddly Free did. He took his 63 SG.
Exactly.
It was his favorite guitar. He
Right.
measured it in a couple spots because it was his most comfortable for his hands
Right.
playing
Well, he
guitar
wanted
he's ever had.
something to feel the
So
same when he picked it
when
up.
he got one of our Coronets, he said exactly what those measurements were to say that this is it. This is
Yeah, the
what I want.
benchmark.
Replicate this.
Replicate
Yeah.
this as close to it as you can.
Yeah, yeah.
And he was extremely happy with how it turned
But
out.
you carved that, right?
So yeah, Josh carved it, and it's. I don't know that it was an exact match, but I know that he was
wait a
extremely
minute.
happy with.
Yeah.
Well, it just depends how well they measured it.
Well,
I
that's
know
the thing.
that,
Like,
I'm busting on
that-
it.
that he was extremely happy with how it came out, and he said that it fit to him. It felt exactly the same as
Yeah.
his SG did.
Excellent.
So that's exactly what you want for the customer to be.
Right.
You know,
because that's the
For
thing
sure.
too. It's like you're buying a handmade instrument because you want a handmade instrument.
Right. Well, that's I
If
got
you
into
want to
this with
see
one
a seed
customer of
thing,
mine.
you can get the same neck, same precise thing 10 times out of the way, but does it make it right, or does it, is it
Right.
fun? It takes the fun out of it.
Yeah.
Well, I had one
But
customer
then
who was
there's still
asking me all these
personality.
questions. I know he doesn't really play guitar, like he's just
Yeah.
started. So,
Well-
and then he's asking me all these like things, and I'm like, he's like, what frets is Josh going to put in my guitar? And I was like, the right ones.
I mean,
I was like,
I think the right way to think of it with all of this specs talk, especially with regard to neck depth, nut width, that sort of thing, is that there's a certain plus or minus, a certain
Yeah,
tolerance
exactly.
Oh, no doubt.
that's allowable.
That you like, right.
But just
You still get
for the
the
customer to
personality.
know that it's within. Oh, okay. That's like
That's what I
up
like,
or
right.
down. That's close enough to the thing that I like. If it's if somebody says, oh, it's a medium neck, and it turns out medium doesn't mean shit in terms of
Right.
numbers, and they get a neck that's flat and wide. Well, that
Right.
sucks.
Right.
Yeah, but it's medium.
Being the
Right, yeah,
people
yeah.
aren't going to try
Having
things
numbers
now.
helps,
people
give
buy
you
things
guidance and
on
clarity.
the internet. I could see why there has to be a system because you have to be able to communicate.
Yes,
You-
yes.
I like
It's
big necks. I
coding.
like small
It's
necks. I like
computer
this.
coding.
Right
It's-
now, it's like I like this at the nut now. So like sometimes if a guy's a hell of a player and has been doing this for 30 years and knows his specs, and that's cool.
Yeah.
He knows what he wants. If a guy can't play guitar yet and he's telling you he has a problem with the radius,
You're so on the other side of this.
I've gigged,
I'm old
I've gigged with
school,
guys
too.
who are, and I won't even name who this guy is, but he, big deal guitar guy, and we were playing Stratocasters, I believe. He's playing Strat, I was playing a Strat, and he said, "Your sound's brighter than mine," and I was like, "Yeah," and I handed it to him. He handed, and I put the switch in lead position. And I saw he goes, "What did you do to?
no.
What did you do to make that?" This is a guy
on.
who's been has been touring the world for 50 years.
well, I got a story for you.
And
no.
I was like, the switch. Like,
I always put it in
and
the
he
same
was, like, he
position.
was like, show me that again. And I was just like, okay.
Get out.
No, totally true. Like, didn't you accidentally hit it? He's like, well, I moved it back because I didn't know what it
I
would
thought
do.
it broke it.
I was like, no, you can move it.
That's so
You can
funny.
move it. It's okay.
We had a guy bring in a real 1960 Les Paul, all cherry, not burst, but that translucent cherry. It's the only one in 1960. He bought it here in New York in 1978.
Wow.
Said it was untouched. So of course we pull it out of the case, we plug it in, and we go, your tone controls don't work. It's like, no, they work fine. I'm like, no, dude, your tone controls aren't working at all. I mean, sure, no one's touched this. It's like, yeah, no one's touched it. No one's been in it. I'm like,
It's in the caps.
your tone controls don't work at all. Like, you mind if we pop it open? He's like, yeah, go ahead. So we open up the back. One had been disconnected and one had been rewired the wrong way.
Yeah. Yeah.
He owned it from 1978 until 2014.
And never realized.
Never once.
They were totally fine.
Because he doesn't use his tone control. So
Yeah.
he never
I don't
bothered
use
looking.
tone
Yeah.
controls.
So we had the right parts and we fixed it and put it back and screwed it back together. This gentleman lived with Les Paul, wrote books about the Les Paul, wrote books about the burst.
Wasn't Tommy Doyle, was it?
It was Robbie Lawrence.
Oh, I love Rob Lawrence.
I love
Rob's my
Rob
boy.
Lawrence, But
He knows more about
He
Les
just-
Pauls than anybody.
he just
except
never uses
Never
tone
used the
control.
tone
So having
control.
somebody that doesn't know that never
But
uses
that's what I'm saying. A guy like Rob, who does legitimately know more about, he owns.
He knows more about Les Pauls than I will
He
ever know.
He owns Eddie Lang's
L5.
L5. That my great uncle was in a band with Eddie Lang when Eddie Lang passed away.
Okay, I'm going to bitch about Rob a little bit more. He also left the original strings on there that were like 78 gauge strings
Flats,
because Eddie
right?
played on them. whole top's caving in. He finally changed the strings last year.
Wow.
That guitar almost got
Oh, there's
destroyed
two. One got stolen.
because he wouldn't change the strings off it.
58s on that thing.
Just sitting in a case though, these
Oh, that's-
78s were just slowly caving this L5.
You didn't any lag and use
You know,
like
Rob
the
once went
heaviest strings ever made.
Rob once went to Leo Fender back in the 70s and was like, "Can I Xerox your file cabinet?"
Yeah.
And Xerox everything.
Yeah.
And I said, "Can you Xerox that for me?" And about a month later, boxes just started showing up. And it was, you'd open it, it'd be like, it was everything.
There's like lights coming out of the box.
It was everything. It would be like every
Aliens in there.
every
Yeah, Rob's
Don't look
got-
at the light, Marion.
You just have
Don't
time
open
to
your
see.
eyes.
He sent me
Spirits are flying
everything.
around.
Like if
It's all
someone
there.
called me up right now and said I need a spec for the 4 pickup Maverick,
Right.
I'd be like, you know,
Rob says he's writing a Fender book. I talk to him every once in a while, but I mean, it's
yeah, he said that to me in 1975.
but it's because of that Xerox box that he's got.
Yeah.
You know.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Love you, Rob. Sorry.
Yes, we love you, Rob.
All right, so let's move along. So we talked about this thing. So we have these Carbonetti guitars, because it's kind of staring us in the face, and you've been holding that one.
Yeah,
That's
we've
been
got
on the whole
some
time.
angular.
We have
Some angular business.
Gibson
These are modern guitars.
Yeah.
Oops.
but they look really cool, and there's a reason.
Okay, hold.
And that reason is this gentleman.
Yes.
Because these were Gibson not great looking guitars before.
Strip them down, strip all the paint down, recarve the necks, swap out all the hardware.
And these are throwback pickups. And this one, I'm not sure about that one. We use throwbacks in this one. We love throwbacks.
That's right. We did throwbacks in this guy and something good in this one.
Those are very good also.
Are those Peter Florence's before he passed?
These are not, but they are escape. Oh, Tom Holmes. That's what these are.
Those are great pickups.
Just a couple of neat, funky shapes that, you know, maybe you've come across these in your playing life, maybe you haven't. But I have distinct memories of first playing an Explorer type guitar. It was actually a Futura. But when I first played one of these kind of guitars, I had always thought, oh, this is just some silly garish thing that is just large and angular and meant to be outrageous looking and supposed to be a statement. And then I actually put it in my hands and thought, oh my God, this is actually really, really well thought out. It
Well, those are very
balances
comfortable.
nice.
This is not.
It sits nice. Yeah,
But those are very comfortable too. And a
These are
Futura
really
is even more
comfortable guitars. Yeah, these
Yeah, the
these
V
are
just
super
isn't
comfortable.
like this. You could do this, I guess.
Yeah, the V does have one major failing.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks awesome.
This one really sounds Outer Kingish though. Those guys' pickups are dope.
And so these are the throwback SLE 101s.
Yes, I think that's what we only ordered the one type. 'cause
Yeah, that's
I don't
right.
know
We,
what
we did a whole raft of these pickups.
really has that. I mean, that was the neck pickup.
Yeah, clarity.
We heard that last time too, but I thought that was a bridge pickup. That's a neck pickup. Yeah. Sounds like a Telecaster.
Yeah.
You can love it with your fingers. You know, like,
One of the things that's fun about these guitars is just how different they become. I mean, it really is kind of a Phoenix type experience where.
yeah, well, no one wants to see a new Carina guitar.
Yeah, it is
It's like
boring.
it sucks.
It's just monotone.
It just
yeah,
sucks.
it really
It's
does.
one of those most finishes look kind of stupid new, to be honest.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
like, that's why the new guitars are stupid. You know, like
Unless you make it.
That's
unless you make them yourself
That's a
and
T-shirt.
shoot proper lacquer.
Stupid.
You know,
Yeah.
like you shoot real lacquer, but if whatever the shit they use now
Mass
just looks
produced.
stupid, right? You know, like it just doesn't look good. That's why we always like vintage guitars.
And
you
the
know, like-
feel. I mean, there really is
mean, you can now
a
make
different
them look
feel
like
in the.
But it feels different, right? Even if
the
it didn't-
texture of the paint.
Even if you don't care what it looks like, it sounds better when the finishes are cracked.
breeze.
Yeah, that's always our theory. Like, you remember, like Chelsea, we used to like buy that component cooler and
Yes,
freeze
right,
it.
yeah.
You know, like I forget who told us how to do that. Like, but those were like mostly poly finishes anyway. We were trying to get to cracks, and most of them
Yeah.
didn't crack anyway.
I mean, it's just a
One
difference.
big crack.
Yeah.
Or it would just crack like that.
It's like, Done.
Yeah, then like everyone said Tom Murphy did it with like a
Razor blade.
So me and Roger tried that. Except
I remember.
on his guitar, it looked so stupid. He ruined that guitar.
Did you ever
Les
do
Paul.
any of that?
I've done a bunch of
You got some razor
I got good at it.
Oh,
You
man.
just have to
Josh is really good at it.
Very
Yeah.
long time.
Yeah, Josh can
It
do it really
is.
well, but he
It
says
is
it won't be
mine.
Then you have to wet sand it though after because
Oh
it
yeah,
just
yeah.
looks fucking
Right, the
stupid.
edges are weird and silly.
But yeah, I've done a couple like poly age jobs where you're just like, really? You want me to do that? You're like, alright, I'll sit here for
Yeah,
fucking
that'll
20
be
hours.
$5,000, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I have a guitar in my shop that you did with Razor.
Yeah,
It looks
I mean-
fucking amazing. It feels a little different. You can feel it.
Yeah, if it comes
It's not
down
under
to
the
it,
lacquer. It's you can feel it.
I mean, sometimes a
won't
guitar
check.
just won't check,
Right.
or the customer won't have it be stripped.
Right.
You know, they're like, nope, we're going with the finish.
Well,
Okay.
you do a lot of times lately where you just shoot nitro on top of whatever's there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then-
that's-
I did
Yeah.
that with Rich Robinson.
Right.
'Cause I did his white SG and I did his black
Oh, that came out
Falcon.
great.
That was fun.
I told you what his brother said. I was having breakfast with his brother, and I said, "Oh, a friend of mine's distressing one of your brother's guitars." And he goes, "If it's my brother's guitar, it's already distressed." That was before
Ouch.
the reunion.
Yeah.
Now you're gonna fuck the whole band up again.
Yeah. But yes.
You said what to that fucking guy in here?
Oh
A
man.
couple you just have to just like repaint. You're like,
Yeah.
put some
Because we
wax
have it
on
all
top
the
of
time. 'Cause we've been doing makeovers and refinishes for 8 or 9 years as Protocaster. Like, you know, some guitars, especially there was that one group. There's a lot of variables. It's not always the same.
Oh, for
thing
sure.
that happens. So
Yeah.
like. Some things will check right away, some things won't.
Yeah.
Remember you were having a blushing issue? Remember
Oh
that?
yeah. I mean, there's so many. It's all such a weird marriage
that's
of
the
art and
lacquer.
chemistry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
'cause
But
look at
it's
those
really
old Mauer and
chemistry,
Prairie State guitars.
I'm not familiar with those.
They're made by Swedish cowboys in the 20s and 30s.
Okay.
For cowboy guitar players, and they're beautiful. You're probably well versed in Euphonons and Prairie States and Mauers, but the finishes, like people spend 20 grand on one and call me out and be like, the finish is all fucked up. You got to come over and see it. And you go like, that's right.
look like.
That's what they look like. Because they too much of something.
Yeah,
They,
okay.
it looks like there's a ghost in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, usually.
But that's right.
Blushing is just an issue of humidity.
Yeah, we were having all kinds of problems
and-
this summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that a cable? Sounds like it might be a.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
staticky cable.
Yeah.
Remember when I used to paint cover guitars outside of the shop?
Oh yeah, the sidewalk glowed.
Yeah.
in front of
But when it would rain, I would just get an umbrella and hold
They're
it.
like shooting them against the wall, like their building had outlines
Yeah.
of guitars on the front of it.
You know, I walked by the old shop. It's
still like
there. There's still a couple guitar outlines.
Yeah, don't mention where that is because you're gonna get arrested for that. Like everyone in that building has 3 heads now.
Fuck it.
Oh
I
man.
was like, "Where's Cobra's spray booth?" I've been in that shop. It's like the size of my bathroom. I'm like, he sprays them
Outside.
someplace else.
Those angels like they're cool. Like that's awesome.
Like sweet. But yeah, that sidewalk in front of the building had this odd texture.
Well, the best is out here in this neighborhood. Everyone really minds their business. And I was walking by. I was like, man, it really smells like lacquer. Is that us? And there's a guy painting his car.
Wow.
Burgundy mist.
No, just laid it down.
Yeah, and it's sparkly. Fucking awesome. I was like, good job.
Good for you.
Nice work, pal.
Should have just taken a body out and just had one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one, yeah. I'll just hold it for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you mind extending each pass a little bit?
We were watching that last time I was here. We were watching a video of D'Acquisto
Oh my
shooting a
God.
guitar,
Right in his
no
face.
mask, talking to the guy,
Well, you know,
Died
that-
like 59.
Watch this guy
but that's what killed him.
killing himself. Right?
But you know what?
I finally
That
wear a
old Fender
mask
video,
now.
they're smoking them in the paint
Yeah,
booth.
yeah.
Oh, it's the best.
There's a video. It's on the YouTube. It's
Oh my god,
Forrest
smoking
White.
a pipe?
No, Forrest White filmed the Fender factory. There's no audio.
Yeah, 57.
Yeah, and there's just a guy like in the spray booth, no shirt, just sitting
No
there, just
shirt.
like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
right.
You gotta take a
huge
shirt off.
fans.
Yeah.
And the big belt sander just leaning.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay. I've seen that. I
That's
guess I didn't
awesome.
remember the like.
yeah, watch the guy shoot.
He always
Looking
good.
good.
Yeah.
That little
They smoked with everything.
Did you know Giuliano? He made guitars in White Plains. He built guitars for Blue Oyster Cult.
I remember that
was his
shop because people where I lived went there for
Well,
repairs. Yeah.
when Scott Chinnery bought that crazy D'Angelico, the teardrop, and he was like, it's 100% original. I was like, no, it's not. And he's like, how do you know? And I said, because I watched Giuliano painted on his driveway. On his driveway, wearing only tighty whities, and the guy was like 80 at the time,
a cigarette.
smoking,
That's gonna be me.
painting it. He
You got smoking.
not masking anything off, just
You figured out later.
sunburst.
Yeah. Sort of razor blades for it.
Yeah.
It turned out gorgeous.
It looked great. You could not tell it wasn't a straight finish.
We're wrong. He's right.
Yeah. I mean, are you gonna argue with 80 years and tiny whities?
Apparently, you need to be tight and whities and no mask.
Boys, I'm sorry. Let me,
And flip flops.
Yeah.
Flip flop.
Start smoking.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's that video of like D'Acquisto shooting, black or talking to the guy.
Well, that's
Right there.
Yeah, it's right there. It's like
when he died. That's what everyone said killed him.
I'm sure.
I mean, yes.
it couldn't have helped.
Yeah, Les used to do it in the back of
I've already
Chelsea.
given in. That's what's gonna get me one day. Just a little longer.
Well, you have to wear a mask.
Les
I
never,
do now,
Those
but
guys
still.
then they didn't.
Les never wore a mask. He's like, I can't see with those things on.
Oh.
I'm like, dude, really? Like, I can't see. I'm like, yeah, but it's not good for you. He's like, all right.
Need a crack.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't want to say that,
God
but
damn.
virtually nothing he did was good for you.
Wow.
Doctors, that's the least of
He was the
it.
only person I
Yeah.
knew who was a
As far as-
hypochondriac. He had the two worst things I've ever seen. He was a hypochondriac, but he wouldn't go to doctors. So he would buy people's prescription drugs secondhand. Anyone who came in and be like, "You got anything in your medicine cabinet?" And they're like, he was like addicted to antibiotics. So he was always taking them, other people's.
Wow.
I'm like, dude, you can't just take antibiotics every day. That doesn't mean you're never gonna get sick. That's not how it works. But he thought this was protecting him from
Oh my God. Hey, these are my one-a-day vitamins.
because he didn't want to ever have to go to a doctor.
Wow.
It
Yeah.
made no sense. It was not logical.
No, that's bad. That's real bad.
And how's he doing now?
He's very dead.
It didn't.
I went
work
to
out.
his funeral with a fake telly.
I went to my funeral with you and every other guitar dealer in New York. That was a good funeral.
Wow.
Yeah, every guitar dealer in New York was there. Yeah.
Wow.
That's the only time I've ever gone to a funeral with a fake telly and leaned it up against the casket.
Nice.
He would have loved that.
He would have loved it.
Because at first everyone was
You know
just
what?
sitting
Not
there
only
like,
would he have loved
like
it,
a
he would
regular
have.
funeral.
If he had sold it to me, he would have gone, "It's real. It's real. Get
Yeah.
fuck you. Get out of here."
Get out of my funeral. When I first started working at Chelsea, you were in some dire fight with him over something.
Oh, because well,
Well, yeah, let's not.
He's dead, and we're not going into
Yeah,
it.
this is gonna go on the internet.
And you know what? I was having a fight with him since I was 13
I can
years
tell.
old. My favorite Les moment was he asked me if I wanted to buy a V. I was there buying a $290 65 Strat from him.
Wow.
In 19 whatever year it was when he was over at the Guitar Loft.
See, I never got to see that.
And he asked me if I wanted to buy a V. It's totally real. It's only $2,000. And I was like, no. And he's like, you want to buy some Carina? And he opened all his Carina. And then,
What a coincidence!
so it was set up kind of like this, but it was like an apartment that was in an abandoned
loft or something,
building. And so there was like what used to be the kitchen and what used to be the living room, and then a window between them. So he goes, here, check it out. And he threw the V at me. So I of course, jumped out of the way because I didn't want to get hit by a guitar. And it hit the floor, the headstock breaks. And I pick it up and I'm like,
Dude.
what the? And he goes, oh, give it to me. See, now it's better because now people know it's real.
This is Les who used to Chelsea Guitars that I worked for many years. He was my mentor. But he used to like walk in the store. He'd walk down 23rd Street just dragging a guitar behind him. And he's on the sidewalk, just dragging it by the neck. And he'd walk in and he'd see me and he would just throw it to me. Most of the time he'd just go, and he would pick the other guitars and he'd be like, raise the price on all of those. Okay. So after a while, then you knew when he was coming, you had to be like, because there's going to be a guitar coming at you.
Wow.
He would just throw things.
But he
And if it broke, raise the price on that.
in the early days, he could only counterfeit Lake Placid blue.
I know.
So everything was Lake Placid
And
blue.
this one green color.
So I bought a 65 or 66 Strat from him.
Lake
Lake Placid blue, $295. And at the time, to me, it did, whether it was real or not, it didn't really even matter because it felt real and it looked real.
Right.
And you know what? Taking it, there was no Stuart McDonald. No one was making fake pickups.
Right.
So I'd open it up and it was all real parts.
Yeah,
Did they come
parts.
together? No. Absolutely not. Was the neck really a 66? It might have been a 69, but it was a real 4-bolt.
Yeah.
And it was 295
Right,
bucks.
that was
I
the
met somebody
thing.
paid for David Gilmour's Strat.
Exactly.
Right, but that was the thing. It was all
God, good
so all
point.
stuff, but it wasn't top dollar.
No.
That was what his thing. It was like he wasn't charging you top dollar. You know, some of the parts were right, some of them aren't. You know, the finishes. I don't know. Maybe I made it. Maybe I didn't. I'm not sure. You know, this was before. This was before Vintage Guitar Magazine, even. I think. You know, like no one gave us a little hole in the wall shop. You know, like once people started coming in, like demanding to know if things were original, it started becoming weird. You know, because it was like
No, you didn't buy from him demanding originality. You bought from
Right.
him because it was cheap.
Right, 'cause that's
and it was a
what-
bunch of old parts, and it was cool,
Right.
and it was
Getting
like
the deal, baby.
you had
then,
something
like-
to go home and take apart.
right, or you know, like it was what it was. You know, he would buy parts, he'd buy necks, he'd make, you know, he had stuff. He'd put together. He liked putting together guitars. He didn't play guitar, which was the oddest thing.
What?
He didn't even play guitar.
I've never ever heard that detail.
Yeah, I didn't know. I was working for him for at least 5 or 6 years before I realized he never played guitar. Because he said, "I'll play this and see if it sounds good." I'm like, "Dude, you're right next to an amp."
Yeah,
It's like,
just- you
"I don't
wanna
play
just-
guitar." I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like,
What?
"Have you ever seen me play a guitar?" I'm like,
it's,
"No."
It's the,
He's like,
the
I never
the
learned.
Kaiser Soze moment in Usual
I was
Suspects.
teaching him how to play at
Right.
the end. I showed him open tuning. He was playing slide, and like, I was like, "Well, just play slide then." He's like, he was a big Dwayne Allman fan, so he was learning a little bit, but he never played guitar.
That is
so he wasn't
hilarious.
attached to them in the same way. He didn't have guitars in the house. He didn't play guitar. So he was
Wow.
like, that's why he didn't really. They were just things. He liked painting them.
Yeah,
He's like
just
putting
cool
them
objects,
together.
that's
Yeah,
all.
but we, you know,
he didn't play guitar,
myself and
so-
Peter Florence and all the. We
Well,
used to
Peter,
have a-
you know, those
we used
most
to have a
guys
blast
play.
with-
You know, Les didn't play guitar at all. You know, like until the very end, he never
Yeah.
played guitar. You know, I just he's like everyone just assumes I play guitar, so I never said anything.
That is funny.
How does it sound? Great.
Yeah.
The way he would try a guitar, he'd plug it in and he'd go, "That's a good guitar."
That's a guitar right there.
And I just thought he was fucking around, but that's all he could do.
Wow. You were seeing max
This is
ability.
it.
Yeah.
But it kind of makes you like a better dealer in some way because you're not attached to this shit. You know, some dealers
I
get
guess-
attached to a
yeah.
guitar and the price is going up now. You know, like,
I want that.
yeah, I don't really want to sell this, so I'm going to have to get more
Right.
money for it. Like,
Which
they
is
didn't really
good
care about
business.
that.
More
Unless, if anyone walked into Chelsea and they wanted the guitar, they left with it.
Yeah.
Somehow. The first time I did a guitar deal, that's why I was so loyal to him. I just moved to New York, I had no money, and I found something I wanted, and I'm like, it was like a fucked up Les Paul special. He was like, "How much is this?" I didn't have any money, but I had lots of guitars. So I said, "Oh, do you take trades?" And I said, "I got a bunch of stuff." He was like, go home and get a bunch of stuff. I was like, "All right." So I went home, got a Strat, some other shit, and I bring it all back there. And he's like, "Oh man, I can't trade you straight for this. You'd have to give me like $200. And I'm like, "Dude, I don't have any money. I'm sorry." So like, you know, I'll come back another time. And, you know, he's like, "Well, why don't you do this?" He's like, "Take the guitar. I'll take all this stuff, and then when you get $200, just bring it back here." And I was like, "But I don't even know you. I could just never come back." And he's just
Right.
like, "Yeah, whatever. I don't care." So I felt so bad. I borrowed the money from my mother.
Wow.
Give it to him. I didn't even know him.
He probably didn't remember it when you gave it to him. He was like, "What did you give me
What
this
the hell
for?"
is this?
Yeah, and I ran back the next day. I gave him his money, and I would just never go anywhere else because he did that with everybody.
Yeah.
But no one ever paid him back except me. I think I was literally the only person who ever paid him back.
Oh,
He did that with
boy.
everybody. He never let.
Richie Friedman's dad was a little bit like that
He
too
just
with
never
me when
wanted
I was
to-
a kid.
He never. Everyone got the thing they wanted. That's why we
Yeah.
all shop there, hung out there. I mean, how many doors did you get?
All of them.
You know, we're yeah, but better give it to D'Angelico. How did that happen?
Long road.
Right, you had a
Yeah.
D'Angelico already.
Up and up and up and up and up.
I toured with one. I had that when I toured with it. Somebody put pat numbers in it.
But you had every guitar there was. You know, like, how much money did you make? $2 an hour, if
It was
that?
a coat check. That was my.
Right.
I ordered a coat check. That was fun.
But you know, like I had everything back when I was playing. You know, I had everything. Specials, juniors. Like,
Hey, you figured it out.
Yeah, last week
Except
was-
that TV junior that Danny never let me have. Remember that one with the broken
yeah.
headstock?
I think did he keep that?
No, he sold it to some like metal kid.
Oh, that's right.
Because he's like, this is it was $4,500 when juniors were $1,800. He's like, this one's a special one. I was like, Dad, it's a broken headstock TV junior. He's like, it sounds
It's
better.
special.
Yeah.
Well, Danny always did that.
It's like, no,
It
it's special.
sounded
Like,
good.
no, it's a junior.
But it sounded good. It was all broken.
And
you know, like.
he said, he's like, all right, you can work this off, you know. And then some kid came in, he's like, I'll take that. He's like, all right.
I
Fuck you, dude.
Work something else off.
Yeah. But that was right. I got into juniors right when they went from like $1,800 to $45.
Right. That's what happened to me. Right?
You can-
If I liked the guitar, it was now expensive.
You can blame.
If I had the guitar, it was worth nothing.
Yeah, yeah. But my first real guitar was that Chelsea guitar.
Right.
That
It's right
Chelsea
over
Junior.
there.
Yeah, it's
All
here.
right.
Yeah.
Look at that.
That thing is awesome.
Oh, with the
That
big
Brian.
dial?
That thing has had every pickup ever made in it.
That's
It's
the one with the gigantic dial on it, right?
That's probably been to more countries than I have.
I broke the headstock in
Oh.
San Diego at the Caspa. I threw it to my friend and he missed it.
More throwing of guitars. Wow, this thing.
This thing I threw through.
Wow, what pick does it have now?
I don't know.
See more
I put a Strat pickup in there. I've had every part in it.
It's only got one knob now.
Yep, there's only one volume because I needed the other. Thing.
What's with the truss rod?
It's a thing. It's a long thing.
It's a big, weird, long thing. What's
Yeah, I lost the nut somewhere and it fit. It works.
Wow.
So this Brian made for Danny. It was a basswood body and a maple.
I remember when they
neck.
made these.
And what were there? 3 of them?
There were two that I
had
knew
some
of.
of these too.
Maybe. But
Yeah,
it
Peter
says
Florence had different
Chelsea
things.
Guitars. It's like
I think Peter made his own.
Yeah.
The original
Type of-
Cobra.
It's the
I
prototype.
actually I had one of Peter's that he painted Alice in Wonderland
Check this
stuff
out.
on.
Peter had one that said
He would paint
Gibson on it.
But this said Chelsea on the head.
No, I know. I remember them.
Well, that was
Silk screen.
Little
Yeah,
Danny,
silk
screen.
right? Little Danny and
So
Big
this
Danny made those guitars.
I got this mint from Ronald McDonald
That's
for
right.
$500.
Ronald McDonald was our accountant. believe
He's
it.
awesome.
Did you know Ronald?
Yeah, of course.
He was so cool. He played guitar. He was our accountant.
But I couldn't get that junior, and you and Dan were like, "Listen, Ronald is gonna sell you this thing $500."
Ronald was cool.
But this is a
Those-
great guitar.
Killed
It was
it.
that
You hear
matte
it?
finish.
Yeah, you can hear it now. You know, it was supposed to be Cheap Junior.
Yeah, but I played it for years.
For a minute, they did an acoustic, like an L-double-O acoustic Chelsea guitar.
Where's that?
I think they made one or two and it was so good. But like as usual, like Brian shot him up in Canada, so by the time they came down, it was
checked.
weather checking a little bit.
Which is awesome.
And they were like, well, we can't sell it now. Like, now everyone wants everything to weather check, but his guitars are always weather checked. You know, like he was the only person who was really shooting real nitro back then. You know, like we used to just put them in the window at Chelsea and they
in the
would,
winter.
They would check.
I remember that. Remember that really mint SG Junior I got? It was like a 61 mint
Yeah.
in the case, and I was pissed off. I was like,
It's got no weather checking.
"Yeah, there's nothing." So we were playing Ithaca, and I left it in the car.
Oh,
the
boy.
Next morning,
It was.
shattered.
Yeah. It's cold up there.
That was a good one. Big.
Wow.
Vintage guitars are fun.
They are.
Guitars are fun. Yay, guitars!
So on that note, I guess we're finishing up here. So anybody have anything else they want to discuss, talk about? Mas, anything?
What about the white pedal?
What about the white pedal?
Yeah,
White
but you have to talk about so that's an amp head?
Okay, so the white pedal is the white. All right. Forrest White was the guy that was the head of production at Fender. Through a little bit of backwards figuring out, we know that Leo Fender made the white lap steel and the white amplifier with his name on it. He got to keep all the money from it. His son's still alive. His son loves Star Trek, hates guitars, doesn't give a shit. We got the rights to remake the original white amp, so we got the trademarks and all that stuff. Found all the people who made the original parts to make all the original stuff out of it. When we made the white pedal, it is exactly that circuit, but with JFET transistors instead of tubes. So it does that circuit in a pedal.
Cool.
I want one.
Okay. That was easy.
Yeah, I knew one of them too.
Yeah.
I had one.
Send two to him and I'll get it
Send
from
you to
him.
him, all
I
right.
sold it here.
Yeah.
But you also make the white amp. Which
We make the white amp, yes. And yes.
You should make the steel again.
But no.
I know.
Is there a market for
now that's the thing. We always
don't
get into
make
like,
it
let's
for-
make it
you
like
don't-
lap
Yes,
steels.
there
You don't make it for a
I make lap
market.
stills.
Yeah, Cobra makes lap steels.
What I want to do is, one of the guys used to work for me had an old 57 Duosonic, and he had refinished the neck and put a white, because when you could still get the old
Was there a
Labels.
real telly with a white name?
name. It's
No.
fake.
That's not
So,
real.
so there's a Duosonic with a white label on it that's out there also. So
And
we
so-
keep talking about doing like a gray Duosonic, because none of them were actually white.
Right.
But they were that kind of grayish color.
But desert
And-
sand, right?
Desert
And
sand.
there wasn't Desert Sand.
Yeah, yeah. So it's more like a bluish,
Yeah, it's got a
grayish
blue to
white.
it, yeah. But doing a Duosonic.
I just sold the Duosonic the other day.
I love those.
But again, I
People are
don't-
starting to get hip to
Remember I
it.
bought that 50, or almost bought that 57? That was a
You
good
just
one.
make a dozen of
to
them.
me a Duosonic's still like a $500 guitar though.
Right.
And I know that's
I
not the
sold
way
for
to-
that much more than that, but like, you know, sold it for $1,500. But like, I was surprised, and I know a bunch of people.
They're very
inquired
popular
about it.
right now.
There must be somebody playing one. because I still have.
Well, all short scales are in right now, basses
Right.
and guitars.
Yeah. But that's a short scale, because I shipped it to somebody
Tiny.
once before that, and I don't think the guy knew it was a short scale
23
guitar, because you can't tell a picture.
Is that what it is?
And he sent it back, and that
that is
asked why, but I imagine that's why. He probably didn't realize it was a short scale
Birdland
guitar.
is 23 and a half.
But not like Mustang short scale, like half
That's
size.
small.
Right.
No shit.
But whatever scale it is, that's short scale.
Extra
they're
short
tiny.
scale.
Tiny
Well,
scale.
there's student guitars.
Right.
And
But
girls'
it's not
guitars.
like
That's why you find all of those with a lot of fretboard wear, because they were like girls' guitar. They were for girls and students.
Cowboy chords.
Yeah, exactly. And long nails, and you just get all dug in. It's awesome. I love that.
Oh, you're allowed to say that?
Sure.
We'll edit that.
Yeah,
part.
we're not sure what we're allowed to say. We'll see with the
That's
lawyers.
what's going to get bleeped out.
Right, yeah,
exactly.
talking about weed and horns and all that kind of shit. Crystal meth junkie.
There's that time I killed a guy.
Yeah, that's all fine, but you can't say anything about someone having long nails being a girl. Now you said some shit that you're not allowed to say. Fucking tell the police. Oh, you have someone to be that's more important than this?
Yeah.
He's honest.
I have work. I have to go, I actually have to go to work.
Don't say that.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's blue. You know,
That's not fun
doing
anymore.
that.
Well, gentlemen, this has been a fun conversation.
Yes. So thank you all for watching, all of you who did watch, and thank you, Andrew Follett, for supporting our venture here. We had a lot of fun doing it. It'll be a lot of fun watching it, and the Golden Row guitars, which you actually had suggested we talk more about. So here is one. This is going to be a guitar by the next podcast, and probably the other one will be pretty close. We're pretty excited about these. And thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Party on. Party on.
I would like to thank everybody who's here, of course. Again, Adam Grimm from Satellite Amps, Josh from Protocaster Guitars, James Carbonetti from Carbonetti Guitars, and Chris Kush from Chris Kush.
Bob's used helicopters.
And Bob's used helicopters. They do still fly.
Bob's used helicopters.